I know
anymore.
there was before. That's why.
Yeah.
Because we don't have them now. So
But just let them know the bright white is a clean, crisp white, and the ultra white is just a slightly grayed down. I mean, slightly.
But it's
And
what we should recommend if they're trying to cover an older wall that may be a faded or something.
Exactly. The only time I recommend bright white is if they're doing trim. Other than that, if they want a white, put them in ultra white all day. All day. Now, ultra white is, I would say, 60% of your colors on your color rack are going to go into ultra white as well. There's more colors in bright white now than there used to be, but the majority of your colors in your color rack are going to go into ultra white. And that's your go-to base. I would say 4 out of 5 times is going to be ultra white. So if you're ever worried about, what product to bring in, or it's ultra white, almost always. Yes.
Would it make a difference? Question you were asking. If we took a piece of drywall, small one, put a tape down the middle,
Yep.
put one on one.
Would it be that visible of a difference?
Absolutely. So what a lot of members do is they do 2, and it's actually, you don't have to use it so little. You can put the paint right back on the shelf. They'll take a stir stick. So you have like the 5-gallon stir sticks, the longer ones, and they'll take different sheens. So they'll do flat, eggshell, satin, semi-gloss on there and tape them off so they can see the difference in the sheen, so that they can show people. There's actually a color card out there too, and I should have grabbed it. And we'll talk about it. So remind me when we go out there to talk about exterior stain, show you that card. It's a sheen card. But they do the same thing with the whites. So it'll show, they'll do one where they put bright white, ultra white, high hiding white. They'll even put like because you guys have 2 different ceiling paints out there. They'll put the 2 different ceiling whites on there, just so you can kind of have it as an example. So just get one of those cheap 59-cent chip brushes and just brush a little bit on there, and then go to your next and brush it on there. Yes, sir.
When you punch into the computer, before that tells you what
Yes.
base to use. So
It'll always tell you what base to use. So when they pick out a color, no matter what, when you punch it in the computer, don't worry about going on. The computer's going to tell you what to select. But you have to double check to make sure you're grabbing the right one. So a lot of times the wrong one will be on the shelf, and you go to grab it, and next thing you know, because you guys have an automatic machine out there, right?
Yes.
Next thing you know, you're mixing a deep red, and you have an ultra white base in there, and the machine doesn't know it, and it starts filling. Next thing you know, it's like just overflowing out of there. It's like a volcano, just paint everywhere. So make sure that you're grabbing the right base and you're checking that base against what. So best practice for me is once you punch it in, it prints out that sticker. Take that sticker over with you as you're going to grab the gallon, so you can match it up and then come back and tint it. So that's the best practice.
Doesn't print out until it starts putting the color in.
No, you can hit print.
You could
Yeah.
hit print before.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I would hit print every time, and then I would go to the mix and print another one.
Yeah.
When you go to mix it, you can actually just hit the print button.
Hit the print button.
Yeah, so can you disable that feature so it doesn't?
I'm sure there's a way. I don't know the back.
I'll
way
look into that, Jonathan.
I don't know the back way into
We
that.
used to print one out and then you could
Yeah.
put it on a can and that before you mix it.
Right. Yeah. So that's Best Look paint. Any questions on Best Look?
Because you're not moving around so much.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, man.
Sorry. That's Best Look. Again, Best Look's a tremendous product in the can. All your promotion, and that's why we promote it so heavily, because it's exclusive to us. So Accolade, you'll see there's a lot of rebates on Accolade because they're national rebates, because Accolade can be sold at independent paint stores as well. So we can't run $15 off a gallon, because then Joe's painting down the street. But how can they run it cheaper? So that's why we have to run national rebates. With Best Look, we could be a lot more aggressive with it. You guys have a BOGO sale coming up here in April. You should be selling the heck out of paint at the end of April. Buy 1 gallon, get one for $5. So somebody can come in and get 2 gallons of Best Look paint for under $40. The same exact gallon, same exact product as Sherwin-Williams, 1 gallon is going to be $55 to $65. But you got to make sure you're filling their basket with other stuff, because you're not making a ton of money on that paint during that sale. So we want to make sure that you're selling them brush, roller, tape, Caulk. You know what the number one add-on, the easiest add-on, and this is my free tip for the day, the easiest add-on in the paint department that you would never think. Switch plate covers. Anytime anybody is painting a room, they take the switch plate covers off, right? And you go to replace them. And half the time those things are so dirty and dingy and beat up. So I have members that'll just take the cheapo 59, 79 cent, whatever, switch plate covers. And as the paint's mixing, just say, hey, you might as well replace your switch plate covers while you're at it.
Huh.
And they grab them. I mean, it's like $2, $3 to replace them all in the room. And they grab them and they go. Number one, easiest add-on to a paint sale. Now, brush obviously is a good add-on, but switch plate covers is a great one. Great one. Any questions on Best Look Paint? So we'll touch briefly on Color Solutions. So Color Solutions is your next line down. So basically you have good, better, best, premium. Your good is going to be your Pro High Silver 5000. Your better is going to be your Color Solutions. Your best is your Best Look, and your premium is Accolade. Okay, Color Solution is your good. This is equivalent to Promar 200 at Sherwin-Williams, which makes up the majority of the paint that is going on Sherwin-Williams because it's a contractor oriented product at Sherwin, but this is a DIY product for us. So Color Solutions, and if you look, see this has a yellow band around the bottom. So that matches up with Best Look. So all your Color Solutions Best Look, if it has yellow band, it's eggshell. If it has a red band, it's full. And so on with the other ones. The other thing that you need to see is this has a white band across the bottom. If it's exterior, it'll be yellow with black. So your exterior's always got black. And actually, if you look here, your porch and floor has a gray band. Why is that gray band? Because
Primer,
nope,
exterior only.
interior or exterior. So that's why it's gray. So white is your interior, black's your exterior, gray is interior or exterior. So we're gonna talk about, you talk about primer. All your products, your premium paint, primer, and Accolade, right? Best Look, paint, primer, and one. If somebody knows this answer, don't, shout it out. But Color Solutions self-priming. How much primer is in those cans, you guys think? You had to guess how much primer they put in that can.
6 ounces.
6 ounces? What else? Anybody else? There's none. There's no primer in that can. Home Depot, about 8 or 9 years ago, their Bare Premium Plus paint, they came out with a paint primer one. There's no primer there. It's all marketing. So basically what these companies have done is they increased the solids and the titanium dioxide in these paints to make them cover better on the first coat. So anytime you're painting any surface, the first coat is your primer coat. That's whether you're putting a primer on it, you're putting paint on there, you're priming the surface to accept the paint, right? So if you have bare drywall, you obviously are going to paint that or prime it first, so it's so the paint's not sucking it in, right? The paint's going to soak right into that drywall. So if you have a drywall and it has never been painted, right? Do you want to use a $45 gallon of Accolade as your first coat? No, right? That's silly. That's why your primer is a little bit less money. But there's different primers. Yeah.
Dick and I always tend
Yep. Yeah, you could tint primer. So a lot of times when people go to prime, to tint primer, what you'll do is whatever color they pick out, say they're picking out a blue, you run that same formula but in a quart formula instead of a gallon, and you can put that quart formula into the primer, and that's going to tint it a little bit so that you can put the tintable primer on the wall. So all your primers have a little bit of room, but I would never put more than 2 ounces in. If you put more than 2 ounces in, then you're worried about it just bubbling out of there and flowing out of there. But
Is it necessary to use primer then?
yes.
Matt,
So-
I'm gonna go ahead and jump in there real quick. Please, nobody do that without being completely sure that you know how to do that. I can see disaster happening
Yeah, sure.
very, very, very quickly.
Yep.
On that one.
So there's definitely times you need a primer. So one we talked about bare drywall. That's one of them, right? So bare drywall, you got to prime it. You got to lay down the nap of that drywall, and you got to seal the surface to be able to accept the paint. So that's one reason. What would be another reason to prime? Coverage, right? So, you know, we talked about this being one coat, but still, if you want the ultimate painting experience, it's always one coat primer, 2 top coats. That's what I recommend. Okay, but if you're going from a light to dark color or dark to light, and it's very drastic, typically you want to prime. Okay, what would be another reason to prime?
One of the best, it's not answering your question, but one of the best demos I've seen is when you took black paint and you took the aqua, the purple paint, and painted yellow over it.
Yeah.
Soft yellow. It was amazing how it covered it.
That's exactly that's what we're talking about with this board. So these are all accolade colors, and that's one coat of accolade on top of those crazy, vibrant colors.
It amazes me.
So I would take this, because you guys have that pallet racking out there. I'll drill a hole in this and mount it right to that pallet rack.
I've actually got that listed, brother.
So,
I'm on,
you know,
I'm on you.
Show that to folks. What would be another reason you prime?
Seal your wall.
Seal your walls, right.
Odors, or if you've had
Perfect.
the drywall's been somewhere and it absorbs
Yep.
an odor, that
Stain.
Smokers.
Stain is the number one smoker. So I have a buddy that bought a house a few years back. He was going to flip it. He was painting the living room, and he put 3 coats of sealing paint on the ceiling. He goes, "This is still bleeding through. What's the problem?" The person who lived there was a heavy smoker. No stains were coming right back through. So I told him, you need a stain blocking primer to seal those stains in, and then put your top coat. So when you have a stain, the number one stain in the house is a water stain. So you don't have a drop ceiling in here, but usually if you look at drop ceiling, you can almost see like that little coffee ground, like that brown coffee stain. That's a water stain, right? If you put a regular latex paint over top of that, all you're going to do is reactivate that stain because the paint is water-based. So you have to use an oil-based stain-blocking primer over the top of that. Now, it might not cover that stain all the way, and that's the one thing I want to let you know, and something you can let your customers know. It might not cover that stain and hide it, but what it's doing is sealing that stain in so that your paint can then go over top of it, and your paint's going to cover it. So that might not hide the stain, but it's going to cover the stain so that you can put a primer on, or a paint on top of it. So, you know, there's a product called, there's a bin product out there, shellac-based primer. That is the number one primer used in fire and water damage. So if your house had flood damage, or if there's a fire, that shellac-based product is the best job of hiding the odors and sealing in those stains to be able to accept the paint on top of it.
You said that was
Shellac.
Shellac-based primer, bin, B-I-N. Believe it or not, there's these they're finally coming out with synthetic shellac, but before they were able to figure out what that was, there's these little bugs in South America called the shellac bug, and they excrete this little bit of oil, and that's what was used in that paint to be able to give it its hiding power. Now, those bugs, there's not as many of them anymore because they've been using so much of it. So they
have to squeeze get all the
yeah. So they came up with a synthetic version of that product.
That hides pine knots real off your paint.
Yeah,
A pine board, you don't want the knot to lead through and look yellow.
absolutely.
wow.
Put shellac or that bin.
Yep. Yep.
You like that, right?
So color solution is the same way. Bright white, ultra white, extra deep, and neutral. So same base structure as your best look. Everything's the same. It's not going to cover and hide as well as best look. It's not going to cover and hide as well as accolade. But it's your economical option for customers. Okay. Not everybody wants to spend $45 a gallon on paint. It's your job to find out if they want to, but not everybody's going to do that. This is your economical version of that, okay? We'll talk about pearlite silver a little bit. So you guys have 3 different pearlite silver 5000s out there. You have semi-gloss, flat, and eggshell.